Hi parents, my name is Dr. Doug Pooley and I'm with C.A.R.E Chiropractic and Acupuncture. What we're going to do today is I'm going to go through what would be considered an at-home posture guide. So what this is something that you can do with your kids, and we're going to strongly encourage you to do so, to kind of rule out possible developmental irritations or changes that can occur as your child matures, both spinally and skeletal, from a skeletal standpoint, that could either indicate the emergence of certain problems or concerns, or be an indication of areas where maybe there can be injury forthcoming depending upon levels of activity. So, what I'm going to do is, we got Andrew here. The first thing we're going to do is I want you to have your child, essentially if it's a boy, have them stripped to the waist. Girl, obviously just have something on that's going to be, allow you to really still evaluate posture. So a bra or a halter top would be perfect from a girl's standpoint. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to stop, stand back, and we're going to generally look at the child. What you want to do is you want to look at the position of the head, the shoulders, the hips, the knees, as well as the ankles and feet. To start with, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the position of the ears. What you want to do is you want to just kind of take your hands and hold them underneath the ears to look for any evidence of any asymmetry. Now, the asymmetry in all likelihood has nothing to do with the ears, but could have something to do with either posture or muscular development in either the shoulders or the neck. The next thing we're going to look at is the height of the shoulders. You want to look for any deviation. You want to look for any evidence that maybe there's more muscle development on one side as opposed to another. Of course, you're going to look at the spine. And what you're going to look for here is any evidence of lateral deviation or changes from the right to the left. And as you can see with Andrew, he's got a little bit of a curve developed right into his mid-back. Then what you're going to do is you're going to look at the hips. Here, all of us have that little bit of a roll on either side as you move down to the hips. So what you want to do is you want to look at this to determine whether or not they're equal or even, because this can be an indication of either a pelvic dysfunction or perhaps some sort of emerging or existent spinal concern. Then what you're going to do is you're going to look at the levels of the buttocks. So you're just going to come underneath like this, put your hands. You're going to look at the knees to make sure that there's no particular toeing in or bow leg, or whether or not the legs are going out. You want to look at the shape of the calves, and then what you want to do is you want to look at foot placement as well. Then what you can do is, standing from the side, what you want to look at is you want to look from the side posture, you want to look at the position of the chin. You want to look at the chest itself and the shoulders to make sure that there's no particular rounding. As you move down again, you want to look at the abdomen in relation to the low back, because this could be an indication if there's too much curve or too little curve, that this could be an indication of a developing weakness that could predispose the child to injury later on in life. Again, looking at the knees. When you look at the knees, you want to look at one knee relative to the other. So you want to see that if one is extended beyond the other, or whether they're both the same, whether they're hyperextended too far back, or whether they're bent forward. Both of which, again, could be an indication of a concern, more notably when it comes to something like the knees, here often affected by foot position or by falling arches. And kids can have arch concerns from the time that they start to walk. And some kids grow through them, and which is wonderful. But if this is an emerging concern and it's not taken care of, what it can do is it can lead to things such as knock knees, where you have an increase in strain and stress in the inside of the knee, or what it can do is impact hip function as well. This is all called a mechanical chain or biomechanical chain. And the old saying of the knee bone's connected to the hip bone, such the truth. So these are just little things that you can look at. And then what I'm going to have you do is just quickly, Andrew, I'm going to have you turn and face me if you would. And you're looking forward. What you've already done is you've looked at the chest. You can look again at the chest. You're going to look and go down to the area of just the midline, and you're going to look for any levels of asymmetry in the musculature in the chest. You want to look at the navel. Again, you want to check for any deviation from side to side. And again, from that point, just looking down, looking at the position of the feet from a head-on standpoint. Now here, under normal circumstances, there's always, in each and every one of us, there's going to be little subtle indications or changes. That's all normal. That's all part of life. What you're looking for is anything that may be an indication of a weakness or an asymmetry, a significant asymmetry, which could demonstrate an underlying weakness or an underlying structural deformity, which could predispose the child to injury or to deterioration going forward. Now, if you notice anything of any significance, I strongly encourage you to contact your healthcare provider. And in this case, when it comes to mechanical concerns, I would suggest that chiropractic would probably be the first choice, and looking at if there is some sort of a postural concern that it can be corrected, and that chiro can certainly get you to either the appropriate specialist, the medical doctor, or deal with the condition right on site. So anyway, some at-home tips, and hopefully will be a benefit to you. Thanks.